So this term I'm taking a speech communications class called public speaking, and basically you have to make 3 main speeches that are the 3 basic types of speeches. So there's informative, persuasive, and entertaining. And so far we've done the informative, and right now we're just wrapping up the persuasive. So the first speech that I did for my informative was how to finish what you start. It was okay. Basically I went something like this. I should write a book. Let's go on a road trip. We say these things all the time. We make these big promises and then we don't follow through with them. I'm here today to teach you how to finish what you start. So, I don't remember how the speech goes. Something about there being 3 steps. So the step 1 is you decide whether or not your plan is worth finishing. Step 2 is you make a you make a plan on how to finish it, and step 3 is staying motivated. So we'll start with step 1. You have to decide whether or not your project is worth finishing. So you have to ask yourself, can I do this in a reasonable amount of time? Or is this going to take lots of time? This is a horrible reenactment because I don't remember how the speech goes, but I was talking a lot and I said, you know, you have to think logically about the consequences and the benefits, and you have to sit down and make a timeline so that you can make sure that you're following along and doing things according to plan and that you don't fall behind. And essentially there was a lot of this happening, and I think you get it because I'm going to stop. This is over now. So yeah, I got a lot of comments on the hand gestures, and then the other comments were mostly about saying I was very expressive in my face and voice, which, like, I don't really think I am. Like, I tend to think that that's something that needs work, but people say that I'm expressive, so I guess, I don't know. But I was a little bit worried because we have a few people in the class who give pretty harsh comments. So there's 3 main people that give negative feedback generally. The first girl, she started out really negative, but then I think as she got to know people in the class and sit and talk with them, that she feels that little bit of guilt of being, you know, too brutally honest. So she tries to do the, you know, compliment sandwich, tells you good things and bad things and not just bad things. The second person who does that is this guy, and he's from Russia, and he has a really thick accent, and he kind of like chortles a lot, like like big Russian laugh. And he does give mostly negative feedback, but he doesn't have that air of like, I'm better than you. He just has like, here's something I noticed you did wrong, but you know that he knows he does things wrong too, and sometimes he says, you know, I do that, or, you know, I notice a lot of people do that, so it's not really malicious. I could do without it, but it's not too bad. But the third girl is terrible. She acts like she is the expert and knows everything and does everything perfectly, but I mean, she doesn't. She's got just as many nervous habits and problems as everyone else, but she always gives just the worst kind of feedback. And she wasn't too bad with me. What she had said about my speech was that one of the times I went like this, my hands hit the desk, and she said, and then it made a sound, and then it was distracting and whatever. But I mean, whatever. So okay, but she gives just inappropriate feedback. Example 1. There's a girl in our class who is just absolutely adorable. Like, how can you not love this girl? She's tiny and she's so like energetic and bubbly, but you know, she has she's not ditzy, like she seems also smart. So her persuasive speech was, you should consider eating less meat. And she was trying to convince us to do meatless Mondays, so 1 day a week eat no meat, and telling us the benefits of that on the environment and on your health. And I mean, in general, it was promoting vegetarianism, but she wasn't asking us to not eat meat. She was just saying, like, cut down on meat. And you know, I thought she did a very good job. She was serious about it, but I mean, she just has that energetic, sorry, I love her. She just has that, like, energy that you know that she's not, like, lecturing you, and she doesn't mind if, like, you eat meat. But the comments that this girl gave to her were totally inappropriate. She was like, I felt like you were yelling at us, and, like, I'm not gonna stop eating meat. I love meat, and I need meat in my life, blah, blah, blah. And you're just, like, going on and saying, like, how we're terrible, and, like, we're not gonna become vegetarians. I don't know what you're trying to do. And it was just so rude because I didn't think that she sounded at all aggressive. And everybody who gave their feedback after that started out with, you know, I didn't think your tone was aggressive. Just because we wanted this girl to know, like, don't listen to this stupid bitch. Like, you were fine. So anyways, background on her. So the other day, we were still doing the persuasive speeches. And there's a guy in our class named Harley. And he's in a wheelchair. And he has some other type of disability, and, like, I don't want to try and guess because I don't know, but it makes him, like, a bit stuttery. And he mentioned it in the first class because we had to talk about, like, what we hoped to get out of the class. And he was saying he hopes it'll improve his, like, speech impairment because it gets worse when he's nervous and stuff. So, I mean, it's pretty easy to listen to. He has a pretty clear voice, and he's obviously, like, very intelligent and stuff. It's just, it impacts the way that he talks a little bit. And he gave his persuasive speech yesterday, and she was doing her feedback, and it was about delivery. And she's like, yeah, it was really choppy and jerky, and, like, I don't know if that's, like, because of nerves, but, like, I remember your last speech, it was, like, much more flowy, but, like, this time it was just, like, really, really jerky. And I'm like, okay, it's fine if you feel the need to, like, bring up that it, like, got worse from last time. But, like, basically what you're saying is, hey, you're not doing a good enough job of fighting your disability. It just was so inappropriate. Like, this poor guy, like, he's there to try to get over his impairment that he has. Like, it's a physical disability. And she's like, you're not doing it good enough? Like, you know that he can get over it. If you want to say, you know, last time I felt like your enthusiasm helped, and this time it was just... it slipped back a bit. Like, be gentle with it. Like, I couldn't believe her. Anyways, I had to get that off my chest. I was really, really mad. So, next Monday, I'm going to be giving my persuasive speech, which I decided was going to be, you should learn more math. I chose it because there's only a handful of people in my class who were probably required to take any university level math, like engineers and stuff, because I find the mixed is the easiest to do. So I planned out my speech, and I haven't tried it yet. So I'm going to do it right now, and let's see how that goes. This is no good. I need, like, a podium or something. How many times have you heard somebody in a math class say, I'm never going to use this? What is this good for? I don't know what I'm talking about. I need to close the door. Okay. I don't know. Something, I should have planned this introduction better. There are many reasons to consider learning more math. There we go. What can happen if you dislike math so much that math's impact on your life in other ways, life skills and how to be self-sufficient. This is going terribly. Okay. So first let's start with, I'm saying so, okay, you're not supposed to start, I'm already doing this again. This is the worst. Okay. No, that was bad too, they said don't do that. Okay, what do you normally do with your hands? I can't. To come up with a solution, and then they might have to prove to their boss that their solution is correct or that it's the best possible solution. So what you'll do is you'll pitch your idea and you'll give your boss a proof. And I'm looking at what I'm doing with my hands and they're moving way too much. Then if they give you a proof, how closely are you going to A, be able to read it, and 2, want to read it? Going around, you're more likely to be struck by lightning, more likely to be eaten by a shark, but you know what? These are all true. then you're most likely to ignore them and play the lottery anyway, even though it might not be in your best interest. This sounds offensive. That looks like it's good for you when it's not. This explanation is the worst. What is happening? Okay. So the next thing we're going to talk about, I said so. The next thing we're going to talk about is the impact on math on your future career. Why am I doing this? What is this? This is a dance. Seems ridiculous. Okay. Blah, 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 more stuff about that. So besides all this, there's lots of reasons to include math in your life besides the blah, blah career. And Kelly had math phobia. She had it. Mathematics. Mathematics. Okay. And that is something that you would know if you studied cartography, so there's that. To other things like, functions and whatever, and this is more that you could get out of the show if you had a bigger mathematical base of knowledge. That sounds really insulting. Then there's also a field that I study called optimization, and I'm falling over. Okay, this is something called the four-color theorem, which is a part of enumeration, combinatorics, which is also something that I study. So it's pretty cool. There's a lot of cool things that math can do that they just don't know about. Big gesture. So, stop saying so. I've brought with me some brochures on the different math courses that this university offers. You could take one as your elective, or maybe you could take one online during the summer, or school. So, I hope that you'll consider learning a bit more math. And I forgot to come up with a closing statement, so this was the worst. So after this persuasive round is over, we're going to start our entertaining speeches. And I'm supposed to do some readings on effective types of humor, because I guess they're supposed to be funny. I know this is entertaining, but I guess they're supposed to be funny. And wow, I am so nervous. I'm just putting off doing the readings because I don't want to get there, read it, and then realize, wow, I can't do this. Because I don't find myself a particularly funny person. And I mean, unless I have a really funny story to tell, the story is funny in itself, I don't think of myself as very entertaining, especially when I have someone who's reacting in real time to my story, because then I start trying to interpret their facial expressions and their reactions to what I'm saying. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that, and I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. I'm pretty sure the topics are there's a lot more leeway in what kinds of things you could talk about for an entertaining round, rather than these other two rounds, which were very limited. So, but I mean, I have no idea. I have no idea what to do. And if anyone listening has an idea, I would love to hear it, because you're listening to me, so you know more about what it feels like to listen to me than I do, because I don't listen to myself. So I guess that's it. This ended up being really long. If you listen to the whole thing, freaking congrats, because that's a lot of me. Okay, bye.